State leaders come to an agreement to get children back in the classroom by the end of the month. We break down the details of that deal, which comes as teachers are being vaccinated. And one-on-one with San Diego native and now Golden Globe winner Andra Day. Plus,
someone noticed me, someone cares.
Our series, Positively San Diego, the act of kindness that came at the perfect time.
ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
Once you build trust, then we will start to see a cadence of reopening across the spectrum.
California's governor hopes that trust will come from families across the state. Today, the governor announced a deal that offers cash to school districts that get their youngest students back in class by the end of the month. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kimberly Hunt. ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco with how the plan stops short of forcing schools to open.
It has been nearly a year since most students in California public schools have been in class. Monday, Governor Gavin Newsom announced a deal with lawmakers that he believes will get the youngest kids back in school faster.
We expect that all of our TK to 2 classrooms open within the next month. We want to see more happen beyond that for unified. Going into red tiers, it's TK to 6. And it's a commitment to 1 grade in middle and high school.
Districts that meet those requirements by March 31st could get some of the $6.6 billion set aside from the state. Back to school. Back to school. Leslie Hoffmeister and other San Diego Unified parents have been pushing for schools to reopen since the fall.
It really falls short in requiring that schools open 5 days a week for in-person instruction.
San Diego Unified and its teachers union already set an opening date for April 12th, provided the county is back in the red tier and teachers are fully vaccinated. It's an agreement teacher Matthew Schneck supports.
My biggest worry is, are we going to be losing money because we chose to create a plan that will allow us to open safely? And is that really fair to our students?
For districts that don't meet the governor's deadline, the amount of money that they can get will go down 1% a day starting April 1st. Hoffmeister says the plan is too little, far too late.
I think that's a failure on his part as the governor of this state to allow for the harm to continue to our students and families.
COVID-19 testing would be required for schools in the purple tier unless they already are open or have a plan to reopen in March. The plan does not require staff to be vaccinated, but the governor says teachers should be partially vaccinated by April 1st. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
The deal also requires districts to bring back cohorts of the most vulnerable students, including homeless and foster youth, English learners, and those without access to the internet. And just minutes ago, the Senate confirmed Miguel Cardona as Education Secretary. Cardona is a former public school teacher who went on to become Connecticut's education chief. He gained attention for his efforts to reopen schools in Connecticut, and now Cardona will play a central role in achieving President Joe Biden's school reopening plan. Biden's goal is to have a majority of elementary schools open 5 days a week within his first 100 days in office. The latest phase of the county's vaccine rollout is now moving forward with expanded eligibility, which includes members of law enforcement. ABC 10 News anchor Vanessa Van Hefty explains how Scripps Health is getting shots into arms of San Diego officers and deputies.
This was dining pre-COVID on Harbor Island. Now, some promising news for restaurants crippled by COVID.
We're super excited that we are able to get the vaccine now for those of us that are restaurant workers.
Jeff Petroff manages Island Prime, Sea Level, and Costera on Harbor Island. He's getting vaccinated tomorrow and is paying all staff up to 4 hours to take the time to get vaccinated. On Saturday, Phase 1B opened. 12 million people qualifying in California, more than 500,000 in San Diego County alone, along with restaurant workers and includes food and ag personnel. Workers at the strawberry fields rolled up their sleeves on Saturday in Carlsbad. Also, grocery store workers, anyone in education, and law enforcement are also eligible. We saw officers getting vaccinated first thing Monday morning at Scripps La Jolla. These syringes set aside for several hundred doses for law enforcement members and their support staffers.
We're in the community every day, not only for our own risk, but the risk that we pose to the public.
Just got off of work the night shift all night, driving down here. It's good not to have to get out, find a building to go into, just pull into my car, stay in it, get the vaccine, and when my waiting time is up, just be able to get on my way.
While the vaccines are available for these groups, county leaders are asking for patience, saying it could take weeks for everyone to get a shot who signed up. Petroff says he's hoping this week Governor Newsom will also allow some level of indoor dining, thanking the community for helping them weather this storm.
The biggest thing is, honestly, thanking San Diego for putting trust and faith in us.
Vanessa Van Hefty, ABC 10 News.
Vaccine Supersite at Petco Park will be closed through tomorrow. That location only offers the Moderna vaccine. It needed to close over the weekend because of a nationwide shortage of doses. Anyone whose appointment was affected will automatically be notified to reschedule. The other super stations around the county are not affected by that shortage. Starting today, Blue Shield will oversee vaccine distribution in California. This is meant to make the rollout more consistent across the state. The Blue Shield takeover will happen in stages. The company will start calling the shots for San Diego March 7th.
The packing and shipping of a third COVID-19 vaccine that's been approved for use is underway in the U.S. Johnson & Johnson's single-dose shot will start going into American arms in just a matter of days. Nearly 4 million doses are going out just this week, which is all of the current supply. The number of doses that states are getting is proportional to population, like with the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Johnson & Johnson CEO says he is confident that the company will be able to deliver its promise of 100 million doses by June and up to 1 billion by the end of the year.
Johnson & Johnson built its vaccine from a virus that causes the common cold, known as adenovirus.
Now, the science behind Johnson & Johnson's single-dose COVID vaccine and the Moderna and Pfizer 2 shots, they're different but not new. J&J's vaccine takes a small amount of genetic material from coronavirus and combines it with a weakened version of a common cold virus called adenovirus. Now, that combination, it doesn't make us sick. Adenovirus technology was actually used to make Ebola and tuberculosis vaccines. Pfizer and Moderna use mRNA technology, which is using a genetic code to make the antigen protein specific to COVID, and that code tells our bodies to make the antigen itself, which promotes that immune response.
Messenger RNA platform allows for scientists and drug makers to update the coding on this vaccine sooner, faster, and at a different pace than adenovirus vectored vaccine. So in that sense, should we need a booster immune shot, very likely will come from those mRNA-based platforms.
Pfizer and Moderna are already testing a third booster shot to protect against COVID variants. Meanwhile, Johnson & Johnson may have the advantage of one and done for now, since it only requires a single dose. It can be stored for months in a refrigerator. All three were found to be highly effective in preventing severe disease and death.
It makes me hopeful that by summer, we will be able to vaccinate millions and millions of people and have a little bit more normalcy back.
Yeah, boy, wouldn't that be nice. The J&J vaccine is also expected to boost vaccination equity, since it is only one dose and it is easier to store.
Investigators are trying to figure out what caused this cement truck to overturn in Spring Valley. Happened about 11 o'clock this morning. CHP says the truck was taking the Spring Street on-ramp to eastbound 94 and rolled onto its side. Firefighters popped the windshield to free the driver. He's in the hospital with minor head injuries. No one else was hurt.
We're watching the number of new COVID variant cases across the country, and there are more than 300 new ones in the latest update that's out from the CDC. The majority of variant cases in the U.S. continue to be the one first seen in the U.K. Overall, the number of variant cases in the U.S. has increased from about 470 to more than 2,400 over the last month. That is according to USA Today's analysis.